Eric, and thanks for everybody for showing up. Aston Bay, we're a copper and zinc discovery play, and we were formerly working only in the Arctic, and our tagline has changed a bit here. As Eric said, with our new project in Virginia, we're really going to increase our ability to work year-round, and we think it's a great value add to the company here. We are in a bit of a tough position. We just, as I say, as Eric mentioned, we're waiting on assay results, and we are closing this acquisition. So, it's a bit of a tease here. I'm not going to be able to tell you everything yet, but do stay tuned, and you'll get the full story. A lot of press releases coming out, a lot of news coming, and we think a really exciting time for us. So just quickly about the company, our share structure. We've got about 117 million shares out. Very strong insider component. Some of those quality names there, JP Morgan, Commodity Discovery Fund, Mackenzie and Sprott, and a few others not listed there as well. Strong management in insider holdings as well. I put a significant money of my own cash into this when I came to this company. And another sort of a new development with the company, you'll notice there, we are trading on the OTCQB, just started in the past couple of weeks, and again, this is just happening right now. We're going through the process of becoming what they call DTC eligible in the States. That allows for digital trading in the States. Reduces those the frictions for trading us on the OTC market. So we think that's going to help us. Particularly now, picking up some U.S. assets and a geo who just had a recent big U.S. win. So this is really the team. You can ignore the guy on the left, but really we're talking about Dave Broughton here, again, VPX, former VPX of Ivanhoe, founder of Kamoa-Kakula, in the Congo. Don Taylor, he's the ex-COO of Arizona Mining, and we were essentially picking up his project. This was Don's other project that he had. He started in the middle 2000s. This is what we call our Blue Ridge project. It's in Virginia. Don's coming along as the geologic advisor. He is going to direct exploration in Virginia. Dave's directing exploration for us in the Arctic. Together, it's an absolutely fantastic team having these two guys on board. I asked them both for a quick little comment about what they thought about the projects, and then I cut it down to what you see here, which I'm sure none of you can read. It is in it's in your materials. But the idea here, look, these guys see discovery potential here for both of these projects. That's why they're with this company. They see discovery, if not around the corner, and not far down the road here, and that is a great stamp of approval having those two guys with us. So I'm just going to quickly go over these two projects and sort of let you know where we are in the process here and what you can expect to see in the next few weeks. Now, our Aston Bay property, I've been here before and we've gone over it. For those of you who've seen this, it's huge. It's located in the Arctic, just south of the old Polaris mine. So we are in elephant country. The kind of deposits that we're looking for throughout this company really are sediment-hosted copper and zinc deposits. And we think this is a fantastic area with great potential to have both copper and zinc. We clearly have the zinc with the Polaris mine, former mine, just to the north of us. And we're seeing high-grade copper and zinc at the surface and proven in drill core, all up and down 140 kilometers strike length over this. It's over a 1 million acre property. Great jurisdiction on tidewater. It's great to be on an island because you're never too far away from tidewater. And so, we think this is a great play here in the Arctic. We drilled this summer. That's the big news for us. And again, the results should be coming out in the next couple of weeks. But just a bit of how this works. What's the process here? Really, and this is what Dave has been doing, is develop the targets. We have a large geophysical and geologic database. So what we need to do is, develop those targets. To try to figure out, what are the potential geologic and geophysical signatures that might represent copper or zinc in the subsurface. And the reason we have to go in the subsurface here is because, as I said, we're looking for sediment-hosted copper and zinc. And so obviously the thesis there is that one of those sedimentary layers is going to be potentially mineralized. Now, unfortunately, on Somerset Island, the sediments are all very flat-lying. So if that layer isn't at the surface today, you're not going to see it. And so that's why you have to do that geologic and that geophysical reasoning to figure out how you're going to find these things. And so that's what Dave was working up last year. And then, of course, once you have those signatures and those ideas, well, then you got to prove it at the drill bit. And really, that's where the rubber hits the road here. You'll have a bunch of different ideas. You test them, see which ones work, and then once you figure out what works, well, then you have a good idea really what the signature is. What does copper look like? And you kind of got it. And then where you want to go from there is continue down, figure out where there's more, work up some size. Maybe someday somebody can turn it into a mine for you. Unfortunately, this summer up north, it was the coolest, worst summer in memory for the people at Resolute Bay. The weather was horrible. You can see, I know here in Vancouver, I heard a lot of people moaning about how hot it was. There's the average July temperatures, 1.5 degrees above average here in Vancouver for July. And you guys that live here, you could feel how hot that was. Up in Resolute Bay, it was 2.5 degrees below the average temperature. Absolutely terrible. July was the snowiest month of the year. It was really difficult for us for our supply lines. That resulted in really in a bottleneck. And we really didn't get the number of meters. Obviously, we're disappointed in the number of meters we got. But at Storm Copper, where we know we have high-grade copper at the surface, you can see the green rock there. That's broken malachite and chalcocite at the surface, proven in the drill core. You can see some of the historic drilling there. We did send samples for assay. And I think that's extremely significant. We're not interested in 0.5% copper here. That stays in the box. We've sent samples for assay. You can draw some conclusions about that there. Again, Seal Zinc, fantastic little resource, over 10% zinc. It's only 1 million tons, but just an indication of what's sticking out of the ground. Again, we drilled not on that peninsula. We drilled outside the resource area. We sent samples for assay. Look for those in the next couple of weeks. The Blue Ridge Project, this is a fantastic new addition for us. This is located in the state of Virginia. Look, it's a copper, lead, zinc, precious metal, mineralized belt. We're looking at SED-hosted copper, SEDX, Broken Hill type style of mineralization. Virginia is a great state. Not a whole lot of exploration. We're very underexplored, and the reason for that is there's a very strong soil profile developed here, a saprolitic kind of profile. So there's actually a very little bit of outcrop, and so it's difficult to explore. We've been lucky enough to attract Don Taylor, or to pick up this project. Don Taylor's, as I say, other project. And Don's been working in this area since the 90s. He started the company to do exploration here. We think it has some fantastic potential for both base and precious metals. We're, on the precious metal side, we're located, right in between the Carolina Slate Belt and the Avalon Gold Belt that runs up through the Maritimes. The Hale Gold Mine, just located just to the south here. A couple significant intersections that you can see there. Those are a couple that are easily available on the internet. The stage we are with this project right now, we're just closing the deal. We expect to have that closed in the next couple of weeks. It comes with Don Taylor. It comes with a fantastic geologic and geophysical data set that allows to see through this soil profile. Once we have that deal signed, then we will, or closed, it's already signed, we expect it to close, there's no problem there, but once we have it closed and the lawyers are all done with it, then we'll be signing our land agreements, and we're going to be working essentially on private land. It's going to be timber farms. The reason we like that is that timber farms are, these guys, they understand the resource industry, and being on private land like that, Virginia is what you call a fee simple jurisdiction. Essentially, if you have an agreement with the landowner, you're pretty much free and clear to pull up your rig and drill the next day, and that's that has a lot of value. We can act very quickly on these things. Don's been chewing over these targets for the past 10 years. I think we're going to be able to act very quickly here. There has been historic mining in this region. There's a large kyanite mine operating in the area. Again, it's a great jurisdiction, and we really have some fantastic discovery potential for copper, zinc. These things carry cobalt as well, precious metals. And we can operate year-round. And for us, that's absolutely critical. It's going to really help us with our news flow. So where we are right now, press release is coming out soon. Stay tuned, and be glad to answer your questions later. Thank you.